Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Ifeolubi channel. Thank you so much for always staying tuned all the time. This is another edition of our Resilience Educational Journey series. So far, we have had somebody who studied law and it took her 15 years. We have had somebody who was pregnant in law school. Today's guest is not a lawyer. Don't worry, I'm not biased. Today's guest is not a lawyer. We have somebody in our midst who is a pharmacist this time around, and he's here to share with us his journey to becoming a pharmacist. So let me not delay. Remember, the essence is just to encourage viewers in trying to get education, just for you to know that you don't need to give up on your dreams, you don't need to give up on what you intend to do. There may be challenges along the way as you're trying to get a degree or a start goal that you have, but despite those challenges you really can still achieve something. So please, can we meet you now? Don't let me introduce you. I think you should introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amosun Olutola, a pharmacist by practice, and your humble guest in today's edition.
Thank you so much. You are welcome. You're welcome. Please tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I'm the second of five children, the only son. I'm from the Yoruba tribe, of course, from my name. Then what else? Like I said, I'm a pharmacist by practice. I enjoy music, I enjoy to travel, and I enjoy to read. Then I also do one or two businesses by the side. I'm also a data analyst. I think that's just it about me.
A data analyst, like yeah, analyst, a rich guy. Data analyst have money. Yeah.
Yeah, trying, man. They're just trying.
All right, that's good. All right, so we are talking about resilient educational journeys. So tell us, what was it like entering the university? And when was your first time, of entering the university? What was it like at the time? When was this?
I think I get my first admission in 2010. Yes, 2010, but I didn't resume until 2011. Of course, OAU strike and everything. So our resumption was like, I think, early 2011, around January, thereabout. But my admission and matric number was 2010 because my admission was 2010. I think I entered the university with my first jam, first YX, first everything. So I didn't have to write any exams twice. And I
Okay.
entered to study pharmacy in OAU. That was as far back as 2010. So it was exciting because, like I said before, I gained my first admission in year 2010. Even I didn't resume up until year 2011 because of the old OAU strike and everything. So we didn't resume till 2011, but our matric number states 2010, but our admission was 2010. So,
Okay.
and then I didn't have to write any of the entrance twice. I didn't write YF twice. I didn't write JAM twice. I didn't write anything twice. It was just first, fresh from secondary
First
school, then
attempt,
back on the exams.
yes. So everything you just got in straight into
And
pharmacy
entered,
school, right?
yeah, yes, pharmacy school in OAU straight. So
All
though
right.
I was supposed to travel to the US, I wrote SAT and I aced it, but I didn't get a full scholarship and we couldn't afford the part scholarship I got. So I had to forfeit the whole American dream and just focus on
Mm.
OAU. So that was how I found myself in Ife. And it was a whole new experience for me because that was like the first time I would be away from Lagos, away from my parents, and on my own in a
JJC.
public school.
Hmm.
Yeah, kind of my own in a public school. It was really a whole new experience. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because it was something that universities in Nigeria. That's the only experience for me, and it was something I looked forward to. So I think the only downside of the whole thing for me was the fact that I never knew how the average Nigerian university looked like or how it worked. So the pictures I had in mind was what was obtainable in the US, which was what I was pretty conversant with, from the internet and everything. So coming to Ife was like being thrown in a world where I have no idea about.
A
Coming from
shocker.
a secondary school where we were just 28 in class
Mm.
to having lectures in 1,000 seater, and I just a lecture theater where we like 2,000, three
Like
thousand, and I
physics
hardly even
and
get the
chemistry,
lecturer.
right?
So everything was like a whole new experience for me. Yes, yes, physics and chemistry, and it was a whole lot for me to take in at the time. So I just had to, cope and adjust. Whereas quite a number of that students that were quite conversant with it was totally new for me. I had never stepped my foot in any university before that time, so I never even knew how it was or how it looked like and all. And so I usually use this when I get opportunity to talk to young people and even secondary school owners and all. I tell them to, as much as possible, get their students to have a first-hand experience of what the university feels like, even if it's through an excursion or
Excursion or
something. Because
VC.
for a whole
Mm.
yes, a whole lot of us don't have an idea of what is obtainable. So it's like being thrown in a strange land, and that's why for most students they struggle in their first semester in the university, because that's like the period where they get used to what's obtainable in Nigerian schools, and before they know what's going on, they're already off track and off balance. So that was basically how it was for me.
All right, thank you very much. So we are picking lessons. So take your children, maybe to the nearest university to you, or let them just see what things look like. Okay, so now 2010, 2011, you got into OAU pharmacy. So how did so what challenges did you face? What challenges did you face as a student in OAU College of Pharmacy?
I think one thing that really was it surprising to me, or I would say, which probably wouldn't be strange to a lot of students in OAU, but is one thing that is not normal for a lot of schools. The fact that, particularly with my set, I was the 2010 set, we had a lot of bright minds. Half of the class were either senior prefects, male or female, or one
Yeah.
now something winner. So it was a class of intelligent women and men. So it was a very stiff competition. Yes, I was a champion when I was where I was coming from, because I was the overall best student from my secondary school. But the game was on another level entirely.
So you have a lot
It
of
was like,
A
because
students
we were
coming
competing with
together.
people that, yes, yes,
Okay.
it was pretty challenging. It was pretty challenging. Competing with people like that, assimilation rate was a relative struggle for somebody who was coming from a private school and has no prior experience of how the university system works. So it was a struggle relatively. Then aside from that, the mere fact that you come to a school where you are just nobody, no, there was no form of direction per se. Yes,
Nobody
it
tells you
just
what
tell
to
you
do,
this and this
right?
and this and this exactly. You just have to figure your way around it on your own. You read for long hours, you do this and that. I'm somebody that has a very short concentration span, so I could read something for an hour, play for 20 minutes, read for an hour, play for 20 minutes, read for an hour. But I quickly got to realize that it was not what was obtainable there. If you can't sit down and take the time to read for the long hours that are required, then you can't do what is required. Plus the fact that we have to go to class 8 a.m., come back by 6 p.m., then you have lab reports to write, then you have the following day, you still have to read. It was a rat
It
race. It was
was
a
a
rat
whole
race.
lot for you to cope
It was
with.
a rat
Cut it
race.
short, Tola.
It was
Were
a
you
rat
very
race.
young? What age were you at that time? Were you very, very young? Like sometimes, so we have 13, 14-year-old entering the university, and that whole experience is just too much responsibilities for them. So I'm wondering, were you like a 14-year-old person, or you were already 16, 17 kind of age?
Oh, okay. I clocked 17 March 2011. So I clocked 17 January 2011.
Oh, okay,
So I
okay.
was
So
17
you
as
were
at when
already
I
the
entered the
university age
OAU.
then. It wasn't like you were too small.
I
So back to
was.
your
So, but that
challenges
was
in OAU pharmacy. So did you end up finishing your pharmacy program at OAU?
no, no, no. I did not. I did not.
Okay, so what
I did
happened?
not. 100 level. Funny enough, I struggled first semester, and everybody would expect that, okay, first semester was probably when I should have failed, but fortunately and unfortunately, I did not.
Okay.
You get, so by second semester, I thought I had gotten a hold of what is obtainable, but then that was when I failed. So I failed second semester 100 level, and the law, guiding the program there says once you fail, you have to repeat the whole
The whole
year taking
year.
that course.
Hmm.
So I had to take a leave of absence the following session, first semester, and then I resumed back second semester to take the courses I failed, or the course I failed, because it was just one course. And then I had to take some electives alongside and passed, then moved to 200 level. 200 level, there was something that happened in 200 level first semester, which I don't know if it's obtainable in Ife now, but it was what they did to us back then. And I know for quite a number of people that did it then, probably they were just trying to prepare us to know, telling you 200 level is a reading class, you guys are too much, and then we have to read you guys, things like that. And then they keep saying this on and on and on, and then these things keep ringing in people's head over and over again. So at that point, we were literally scared. Everybody was working in fear. Any small thing I don't want to fail, any small thing I don't want to fail, and then at the end of the day, well, some of us ended up failing.
So,
Yes,
so
and they
the,
ended
the
up taking the class.
constant, this
So I had to.
constant reminder from the lecturers about you guys are too many, they are going to read you this sort of affected probably your confidence. And
There was something a number of lecturers usually do then, and that was the fact that they will come to class and consistently remind us that 200 level is a reading class, and the fact that they have to cut our population and all, and that really didn't help issues, because for some of us it instilled fear. And so we started doing everything in panic. You panic read, you do everything in panic. I remember spending hours, in the e-library in the fault, just I feel like if I don't stay there and read for that long, I will fail. And at the end of the day, I still end up failing, because I realized that I didn't get to assimilate what I was supposed to assimilate. I was just reading text. I wasn't really
so you were
understanding
reading more out of
those things,
fear
and
and
I didn't even.
desperation.
Exactly. And I didn't even get enough time to understand what works for me, because I think that's something I feel everyone should understand even before getting into the university, or at least your first few days in the university. Understanding what works for you. I did not get the opportunity to understand that while in Ife. The realization dawned on me after I had left and got into another school. And it was a smooth transition to understand, oh, this is what works for me.
All right. So you need to
And
understand
all.
yourself, maybe your reading pattern. Like you said, normally your way of reading is to read for some hours and play and read for some hours. But the pressure of OAU, where everybody will go to class from morning till night or read overnight, you understand? Maybe the pressure to belong into the OAU reading culture. Meanwhile, you were actually not assimilating anything. So I think I like that point. The point that you need to understand yourself, how well you read and how you understand. So 200 level, it means you had to repeat again. So how about your 300 level?
Yes, I failed my first attempt at 200 level, so I had to repeat the class. And then
Okay,
I passed after repeating class.
okay. So you moved on to 300 level.
So I moved to 300 level. Now, at this point, people that entered the same year with me were already in 500 level.
500 level,
So
yes.
there was a problem of the shame.
Hmm.
So there was a problem of the shame. There was a problem of the fact that I don't know if I would still pass 300 level or not, because it was now beginning. So I failed 100 level, I repeated it. I failed 200 level, I repeated it. Is it going to repeat itself in 300 level again?
Hmm.
That came into. So there was the problem of the fear, and then of course at that point I had lost every form of what's the word, confidence in my academic prowess. Even when people remind me that, I remember you were the best student in your set, you wrote JAMB and WAEC once to come into this school. It
Oh
didn't
my
do anything
God.
at that point, because I was
Hmm.
reflecting more on previous results. 100 level I failed, 200 level I failed. I don't know how I will not still fail this 300 level. And it happened, because 300 level I
You failed
failed.
again.
You understand? I failed.
I'm
I failed
sorry.
again in 300 level. And then I had to repeat. So I was repeating 300 level at that point. My set had graduated. You understand? And then so it was the set I repeated 100 level with, was now the final year.
By the time you were repeating 300 level, you did it with the set after you.
Yes, the set that entered while I was repeating 100 level.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of
My own
I don't know. It's a lot to handle for most people, really. So what next? What happened next after that?
I think as at that 300, I mean the time I was reading, so at that point I had concluded that, oh, whatever happens, happens. You understand? So I'd already concluded that, see, if I get withdrawn, fine. If I don't get withdrawn, we'll keep pushing. In fact, I had already concluded in my mind at that point that probably I would, if I manage to go into 400 level, I probably will repeat 400 level and then probably 500 level at least. But at the end of the day, I will finish.
Otitato.
That is if I go through the thing.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
so it was. I was at that point already, and I, how do I put it now? Like I said, I had zero confidence. I was just going with the vibe. Let's just do it. And then that was the point I came across of Dr. Ayola of pharmacognosy department. And then he saw me that day on the corridor and was just like, my friend. Like, yes, sir. At that time, I just knew him as a lecturer. He taught me in class, but he never knew me personally. So he told me, why are you reeking of fear? Why is fear written all over you like this? At that instant, I just started crying. And then I explained everything to him and all. I think that was already 300 level second semester. I was repeating 300 level already then. Second semester, I think either we had started the exams or we were about to start the exams. So I explained everything to him, was like, I should not worry, he will pray with me and then he will monitor my results. But then, unfortunately, I was withdrawn that particular semester.
Wow. So
So
after spending
then I got, it
years.
was actually 7 because we have to include OE strikes.
Okay, so plus OAU strike 7 good years.
Because
Ah, that's a lot though.
I think because that was 2017, I resumed 2011 January, and I think it happened towards the end of 2017.
Wow. Wow.
That's literally about 7 years. Yeah, so, and then that thing happened, and I went in. I got to know about it a night before they posted the results. An insider called to tell me I'm withdrawn, blah blah blah. Night before they posted, and I went crazy. It was a very very crazy experience. I to 12 midnight thereabout from Asherifa. For people that know Ife very well, I worked from Asherifa and I had to walk all through to Blackberry 2 times in the middle of the night just to get my composure back and everything.
Wow.
By morning, I felt better. And then I went to the party and I started consoling other people that.
You were consoling other people.
Yes, I was consoling other people.
Wow.
That had issues with their results and all.
Sorry, I have a question for you there. So I wanted to ask a very important question here, which is the part of how did you tell your parents? Did you carry them along all this while? Because there are students that will fail or will not do well in school or will be withdrawn. And when this happens, they would not tell their parents. They keep deceiving their parents that they're in school, or they would even run away. Some would even run away from home. Oh, I'm telling you, some would run away from home. And maybe because of the shame, because maybe their parents had hope in them and all that. So I want to understand, how did you inform your parents? Were they supportive? Or did you even inform them at all? Or you two were among those that were pretending? Pretending that everything was fine. So because it's something that young people need to know how to navigate. I am a lecturer, so I know that happens quite a number of times.
Okay, so I think one of the biggest blessings I had, or I still have, my parents, and that's because if they had been unsupportive, I don't think I would have been able to, weather through that storm. So I forgot to include this, that even when I failed, I attempted suicide.
Wow.
So I attempted suicide when I failed in 100 level, and that was because I had never
100
failed before in my
level.
life. Never. Yes,
Wow.
100 level. So academics has never been a problem for me. I have never had to tell people come and teach me my assignments while growing up. No, I always figured everything out, and I always did. So failing at that point was a big blow, and so I didn't know how to take it. So I attended side, and it was crazy. Thank God for God, and thank God for observant roommates that just very observant that this guy doesn't sleep this long. Why is he still in bed by this time?
So that you were in school at the time.
I was in school.
Wow.
I was in school. I know OAU results. They don't upload it on portals like many other schools do. They paste it. So I was very popular. So people are seeing the Famty had failed. Famty had failed, and information had gotten to me, but I had to go there to confirm. And then when I saw it, I just went, got some drugs, came back to the hostel, you know, took those drugs, lay down on my bed, hopefully hoping to see either heaven or hell in the process. But fortunately for me, my roommates were very observant, and they discovered I've been laying for too long, which was unlike me. And so he touched me, I was cold. So he
Wow.
carried me on his back, on the bike, and rushed me to the health
To
center
the health
where I was
center. Thank God for
resuscitated.
such observant roommates.
Yeah. So that was where I was resuscitated, and then they called my parents, and all the way from Lagos, they were a mess. My mom was crying, my dad was shaking and sweating, a whole lot. And I saw that I'd never seen them in that state before. Never. It gave me that mentality that, oh, I did not try. Like, this is not a good thing to do. And so they, at that point, were pretty careful, checking and monitoring me,
Yeah, so
hoping
they
that I
had to
would
be
not do something
careful so
crazy.
they don't push you off the edge.
Exactly, exactly. But after that experience, I had concluded in my mind that I think it's the worst that can ever happen to me, or I thought it was the worst. They were very supportive. I think that's the bone of contention there. So I didn't have any reason to hide what was going on
From
from them.
them.
But when I got withdrawn was like the point where I was clueless on what to do. I didn't know how to tell them. But there's still an iota of hope but when it's withdrawal, there's nothing else to be done at that point.
Yes.
So I didn't know how to tell them that I was withdrawn already. So I had to go and inform Professor Aaron. He was the dean then, I can't remember, but I think he was dean then. And then I told him, and I was like, okay, no problem, I talked to them for me. So he was the one that called them. And then the way he structured the whole thing, he made them believe that I had not seen the Lord. And it was only from the capacity of his office to inform them that this has happened, so they would know how to break the news to me.
Okay, so you engaged
So that
somebody
kind of
older to be able to help you break the
helped.
news to them, right?
Yeah,
So for me, I think it's a very
exactly.
important. I
It
think it's
was
a very
very good.
important lesson, really, because sometimes young people just don't know how to go about it, navigate disappointing their parents and those that they love. But I think that was a very wise thing to do, to approach maybe a family friend, your pastor, your imam, or your grandparent, somebody just older that will be able to break the news better to your loved ones. I really like how you handled this. Well, it seems like your story is it's a lot, because I know that we have not even gotten into half of your journey. This is just phase one. Me, I feel your journey is like in three phases. So please just permit me to end this part here, and then we continue in
Okay.
part two. You understand? So just continue.
All
So,
right.
dear viewers, thank you so much for staying with us. We apologize for all the network issues. Please just stay tuned. Tola story is a lot. Is actually gone through a lot to become a pharmacist, and we you need to watch the part two. You need to watch the part two. There's a lot to learn. In some, let me just say, recap some of the things that I think we can pick from Tola's story so far. First of all, is try to teach your children or children around you, let them have an idea of what the university system looks like. Take them on excursions. If you have an elder one that's already in the university, let them even follow you. Let them see what the four walls of a university or tertiary institution looks like. Let them gist them. Let them have an idea of what university life looks like, so that they're not caught unawares. I think that's one. Two is to prepare them, for the rigors of a university life, because it's not a system where somebody will tell you it's time to sleep, it's time to wake up, it's time to do this. You have to be able to regiment your life yourself. The third thing I picked from Tola's story so far is also understanding yourself, how you read. Don't try to pretend like others or read like other people. Understand what works for you, so that you can be able to have your own reading regimen. And I think number four is, please don't hide whatever is happening to you from your parents, your friends, or your loved one. We all need a support system. Really, I have seen students that because they did not do well, they failed one or two courses. They felt, I don't know, despair, like it's the end of life. And look at Tola. Tola said he attempted suicide, and some others have seen students that maybe they were withdrawn from school and they will just run away from home, from the university, from they will never come back. The shame, can be too much for some. Get depressed. It can be too much for some teenagers, to handle. So, but like what Ola did, he was able to get through to his parents through an elderly person. We can try a family friend, right? And we need to know that failing academically is not the end of the world, right? It doesn't mean you will not succeed again, but that is not the only expression of you. You can succeed at many other things, including your academics, actually, if you stay at it. But if you've never experienced failure before, failing at school just looks like it is the end of the world, but it is not. What we need to do when we fail is to find out why we fail. Yoruba proverb will say that when a child falls down, the child picks up himself and runs forward. But if it's an elderly person that falls down, the person will look back and say, "What made me fall down?" You want to find out why. Why did I fall down? Why did I fail? So that you would avoid it and it doesn't happen again. I think we should behave like the elderly. Find out what made us fall down, and then before we move forward. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Please stay tuned for part two of Tola's story. Thank you, thank you, thank you.